Welcome back to another video. So today is actually more of a light discussion and a little bit of an update. However, I am late on the updates. I don't know how I'm going to market this yet, but in case you haven't heard yet, Riot has officially confirmed through their own YouTube channel that Episode 4 Act 2 will be free from any new agents or maps. So we will have no new content of that sort in Act 2. Now, what does this actually mean for the game? From far, it's very easy to be like, we won't get any new content, because like we had a little bit of a drought in December, and it seems like that drought is coming back, but that is not the case. Obviously, besides having new skins as normal, this is actually amazing to hear. We got Chamber a little bit late, like 2 weeks late. Then we got Neon. So the release date between these two was actually quite short, and I think most people felt it. A lot of people were still getting accustomed to Chamber, haven't even played him that much, and then bam, we got Neon. So they kind of came back to back really fast. However, what this means, and what Riot said, is they are focused on the foundation of the game, balance changes, reworks, etc., and that is fantastic, and maps are not off the table. The way we saw the Breeze changes that actually made it more fun, in my own opinion, is the same way other maps can get touch-ups and reworks in Act 2. Following that, we also have agents. So something like the Yoru rework will be coming in Act 2, and it's so aggressive, he might as well be a new agent. And if we're going to get a lot of these types of changes, it's going to make Act 2 the most fun, because no matter what anyone says, when you add a new agent, let's say Neon got added, she's fun, I love playing her, so I play her a lot, the game feels changed to me. But some of my friends, they don't like playing Neon, or they don't play Neon, so to them, the game hasn't really changed in Episode 4, because not enough balance changes were made to shake up the meta, and this is what's going to happen with Act 2. Now, if we take a look at some things, what I find interesting is if we look at a Radiant chart based off of pick rate, we can see that some of the lower pick rates are stuff like Yoru, Phoenix, Brimstone, Breach, and KO. Now, I don't know too much about KO, because I'm just being honest, I actually don't know too much about his position right now, but Breach, Brimstone, Phoenix, and Yoru are 4 agents that have been calling for some adjustments for a long time. Like, a lot of people, so the Yoru rework's confirmed, but Phoenix, Brimstone, and Breach need changes as well. Some other ones that are secondary, where people aren't as loudly voiced, except, Flex Ninja. Omen most likely needs some adjustments as well, and I could see Cypher have adjustments on top of that. However, looking at only Radiant pick rates isn't the best, because it's not inclusive to everyone, and it's very silly to look at that. So if we jump all the way down to Iron, for example, Astra's at the bottom, but Astra doesn't need a rework, or she doesn't need any buffs. That's just very, very, very far from the truth. And then Omen skyrockets much closer into the upper half, but it doesn't mean he does not need some changes. But regardless of any rank, something we can see, like if we jump, let's say, to gold or maybe platinum, somewhere in the middle, we still see Yoru, Phoenix, KO, Breach, and Brimstone near the bottom. No matter what, we see them down there. And I would really, really argue, especially Phoenix, Breach, and Brimstone, really, on top of Yoru, most likely needs some adjustments, because they're in a very sad state. Now, I'm no professional player, so I can't actually say who 100% needs some adjustments, but, pick rates across all ranks is not a terrible idea to tell where someone is. But pick rates are only one, right? You can use win rates as well, but how useful is it? If I do a plat win rate on just competitive patch 4.0, Sova has like an 80% win rate. Now, Sova's obviously one of the stronger agents, but that's an abnormal statistic based off of chance. So I don't like to use win rates too much, especially when the episode just started. I like to use pick rates and more so community feedback. I like to listen to who's talking on my Discord, inside the Radiant chat, or inside the Immortal chat. What are the discussions under the pro plays on Twitter? Stuff like that. That's more how I gauge what I'm getting from multiple other people. But regardless, changes are needed, and good thing is, I think they're coming. However, agents are only one small part of the game. Okay, well, they're actually quite a major part, but on top of that, we also got guns, we also got game modes, which I see no one talk about, and we got maps. Now, maps, I have no idea exactly what adjustments could be coming. I wouldn't be surprised if we had maybe even more adjustments to Icebox, but I'm really not sure. It could leave it the way it is. Maybe some adjustments to Split. The Breeze ones are great. Maybe more adjustments to Bind. That could be a thing. But when it comes to maps, I won't talk too much about them because I actually have no idea. I don't know what they should change or which maps they should adjust. I think all the maps are in an okay spot the way they are. They've proactively change stuff. Like even when Fracture first came out, they went ahead and made changes quite early. Doesn't need more. I don't know. I'm not really good at that part, to be honest. Unlike Agents, I haven't really heard much criticism on maps in any constructive way. Just like people just hate some maps and people just love some maps. So not too sure when it comes to that. However, something else they can do is some more gun changes because episode 4 brought a decent amount. Now, the really noteworthy one was Ares, and love it or hate it, that was fun. Okay, well, I don't know the definition of being crab walk headshot by an iron with an Ares is fun, but I mean the idea that when they make certain changes, it can radically change the game is a fun idea. And as long as they hotfix it fast, like they did with the Ares, it can leave for very balanced gameplay after the fact, because when you overtune something by just enough where it's spammed, you know what made it get spammed, what's making it strong, and it's easier to dial back. It's much harder to understand how much you need to buff something for it to become viable, more than how much to scale it back for it to become fair. That's usually how things work. Let's say something like the Bulldog and Guardian still aren't seeing much plays, and they've only had buff after buff, and they're still not seeing much gameplay at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more buffs and changes towards guns and other things such as that, as well as maybe some ability changes. To see how they can shift the game and re-solidify the foundation is huge, and it's a lot of fun. But up till now, all I had was an open, for fun discussion with you guys, and nothing is final. To be frank, we're waiting on some more information, and the minute that information drops, I'll review it and hopefully I'll be available to actually make the video. But up until now, we really only know that the Euro rework is on its way and nothing else. However, if they are claiming to take an entire act off just to balance, then I think as a community, it is 100%, of course minus the battle pass, it is 100% fair to expect a ton of balance changes. Like, we should expect some radical changes across the board and some minor adjustments to everyone. You know, like even let's say Cypher, where he's with just a slight buff, maybe like a tiniest buff, and then all the way down the spectrum, an entire Yoru rework. Like, we should expect everything across the board the same way when they made the shop changes. They changed all the money, then they changed majority of the guns, but only tuned a little bit here and there. That's the type of changes we want to see in the next act, and I personally am 100% more excited for those changes than I ever could be for just one new agent, as long as they come through. If all we get's a Yoru rework, you know, as someone who loves Yoru, I'll still be happy, but I want to see some more changes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, just a fun little rant, and I'll catch you in the next one.